Welcome back, everybody. My name is Ty. I'm a day trader. I've been trading for almost 4 years now. And today, topics is about Asian session. Typically, a lot of people have problem trading. Excuse me, trading the Asian hour, Asian market. Why? Because it's typically low volume and a lot of choppiness that goes on with the Asian volume, and then people just get chopped out. I know firsthand because when I first started trading Asian session, it used to be like a no go for me. Like I would not trade it because I always lose or blow up an account trading the Asian market. It's just because I get chopped up, I get stopped out, and then go just spiral of tilting and just want to revenge trade, and eventually just blow the account up, right? So now I kind of I don't want to say I've perfected, but I've got a good win streak, right? I haven't lost in the Asian session yet. So here's my strategy, how I trade it, and hopefully, if you are struggling with the Asian session, hopefully this video finds you and hopefully provide some clarity on how to trade the Asian session. First off, I'm gonna go to the top step and show you the proof. Okay, so this is just the proof of my prop firm top step, all my payouts. Last month of May, I have one coming up soon for first month of June, first week of June. So, but this is all mostly May, and that's almost $8,000 in payouts. Okay, prop firm is not a scam. It's a legitimate trading business. There's a lot of prop firms out there. Not all of them the same. Just so you know, Tops is one of my favorite one because of their platform called Project X. It's a trading platform they use. Very simple to use. So I like to promote them a lot. They have no affiliate links for them, but they're one of my top. Another one is Top One Futures, and they're pretty good too. They have the same platform, Project X, they use, but different products, right? Let's go to the chart now. Here's a chart. Here is one of my XFA account. I'm gonna go show you my P&L. Okay, so far $5,951 profit. This is the month of June. 2 winning days so far, 300. Most of them are taken on the Asian session. This is last month. Not a single red day, right? Not a single red day. I'm not saying a red day is a bad day for you, right? Or for me, because you're gonna take a red day, a bad day, right? Just as long as you able to bounce back from it and not blow the account up from over trading. And I know it's easier said than done. I've done it. I still do it sometimes. You know, it happens. It just happens. But you try to eliminate that emotion of over trading, blowing your account up. Okay, but when you get a consistency of trading good habits, these are the kind of results you're gonna accumulate, right? This is the kind of result you want. And so yeah, I'm one more day from payouts, which is good. So I'm gonna take half of that. Now let's go to the charts, the nitty gritty. Okay, here's my chart. If you guys are new, this is MNQ, which is some Nasdaq micros. Market is still open as of right now, recording 12:24. So you're gonna see movements here. Let's talk about Asian hour. Asian hour is, I'm going back in time. Okay, Asian hour starts at 1500 hours. Look down the charts down here, 1500 hours. For my, I'm thinking it should be the same for yours, but I'm on Pacific Standard Time, so 1500 hours. It's like 3 o'clock my time. That's when the Asian session market opens. Okay. Now on Friday it doesn't open because our Friday is their pretty much gonna go towards their Saturday, and market doesn't open. And Sunday it opens at 3, same time. So their Sunday is opening towards Monday. I hope you guys get that. Okay, so here goes. Now I hope you guys started to see a pattern, right? So Asian Open, what happened? Even though we had a strong New York session, Euro New session, Asian Open, we start to, guess what? Sell off. Do you see that? It sells off. It sells off towards the, at least towards the um, Euro Open, which is 11 o'clock my time. And then Euro Open buys the back. Normally, that's how it works lately. I don't know if that's constantly the way it is, but shorting Asian market tends to yield good results. Okay, so yes, I short Asian markets, and then I watch out for the Euro Open, and then usually it rebounds back. But Euro opens up at 11. It gets late. I'm not gonna sit there forever and try to trade this. Right? There's no way. Some people just swing it overnight. I mean, it's a risk, right? There's a risk to that because you don't know when you're gonna stop out. You're not there for a chart. Anything can happen. It could not go up that day and just go down. So there's a risk there. But most of the time, just basing on patterns, right? Euro opens rally. Now let's look. Let's go back in time again. Here you go, another Euro. I mean Asian Open, 15, 3 o'clock. Market is open, kind of up and down. Now the first, and I tell this to all my group, the first hour of Asian Open, you do not take any trade. You just don't. You just watch. You observe. Okay, you just observe. Okay, and you always chart out your New York session close, right? See what close. Did it close high? Close low. Just mark it out. So you have a level. Okay, your level is here. Up your high is up here. If somehow Asian opens up and we rally towards the high and moves higher, that short idea is just pretty much dead. You don't want a short mark like that. Okay, it means market still wants to run Asian hour. For some reason, sometimes it could be news that happened on New Year session, but during the close, now it carries over towards the Asian session and buyer coming in to buy, right? So that could happen. I'll show you an example of that later. And then so I'm talking right now. This example, we got a New York rally, right? We got a high right there, and then Asian opened up green. Okay, we didn't jump in. I tell you, everybody, 1 hour, 5 minutes, doesn't matter what it does. Just wait an hour. See how markets react. Then market kind of just start trailing, selling off. And also I always look at the 15-minute when it comes to the Asian market because the lower time frame is just too choppy. It's just too wicky. You can't trade on that. It's just there's no clarity when you're taking trade on that lower time frame in the Asian market. So try to look at it in the 15-minute chart. Give you a little bit more clarity, and your stops usually should be a little bit higher because in the 15 minutes. And you don't try to trail yourself too close because you will get stopped out. It's just wicky like that. So the first 1 hour, you don't take a trade. You observe the market. If the market starts to trend down, you watch for signals like EMA cross, like some of my strategy that I have, EMA cross, showing you signs of bearishness. That's when you take trades towards the downside, right? And then when it pull back to EMA, that's where your entry is. You can go to low time frame for an entry if you want, or just stick to 15 minutes because, trust me, I just stick to 15 minutes on Asian session. And then you short the market. Where you short, you try short and aim for at least where you think the low of the day would be from New York session, or just halfway there. Normally, it wouldn't go all the way down towards the New York session, but it'll probably take half or quarter of the move, right? Or you just trail your stops when you feel comfortable. Trail your stop, take your profit. You can never time where's the bottom is at, right? You can only guesstimate, okay? So this short would have used some good return, and it's usually about maybe 200 ticks or something. Most likely in the Asian market, it doesn't really go over that. Anything to the extreme, be careful. That's probably big news and cause the market to sell off, right? That's the only time the market moves that much on the in the Asian session. And you also want to be careful once you're shorting. There's a time where you think you should start thinking of taking profit. Okay, so when I short first hour, you don't short, you don't do anything. You watch market. Once you enter the short, the probably could be around 4:30, 5-ish, right? And you see the market going bearish. You enter, you got all the criteria, and then you just sit there and wait. You have your stop pretty high up, like at least the recent high, right? Let's say, for example, you took a short there, you saw an indicator, and then you want to short right here, this high, and then at least a 1 to 2 risk ratio, which is fine. Because Asian market doesn't move that much, but hey, a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio is good, right? And then depending what kind of size you have on, that's an easy $500. So you start small. You can start with 3 cons. Start short, right? Just to see where it goes, and if you start getting your way, you can add into it, or just start trimming at like $100, $300. Just start trimming until you're comfortable and leave one runner. Okay. What I pay attention to when it comes to time is around 5 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. We get a little bit more volume. We get a little bit more clarity of direction. Okay. Once 5 or 6 o'clock hit, you should see a trend already. You should start seeing a trend, clear trend down. You're like, okay, I feel good about this play now, and then just hold your shorts or trail it more, right? You feel good because you're starting to see a trend down around 5 and 6. If you don't, it gets too choppy. It's probably a sign to just cut it for a day, break even, whatever, take your profit. Because once you start entering 7, 8 to 9 o'clock, you probably get a little bit more action, but could be some more choppiness, right? I say around 9 to 10, 10-ish, there could be some choppy action going on because I think the Asian markets start to want to take profit, so I trim out, or because they're prepping for Euro Open and the volatility comes in Euro Open. It can go either way. People are on de-risk at that point. That's just my analogy. That's what I see. So pay attention to those times. Once you hit around, like I said, around 9-ish is where you should be thinking, okay, should I take profit now, or do I want to risk it, right? Risk the Euro market, because Euro Open could just wick up, stop you out, or continue to sell off, and then you win. But like it's really a gamble. You don't know. It's almost like a New York Open, okay? But normally, the Euro market, once the first opening candle happens, you start to a trend later, and they usually just buy it up. They buy the market up, like right here. Start Asian market, sell off. Euro stands open. We get a bunch of big candles. We wick. It looks like you're selling out some more. You're looking good. All of a sudden, they start buying everything back up, and you're like, oh shit, right? That's how it is. Man, I don't know why every time I record, the garbage man comes. So sorry for that interruption for now. Let's wait a couple minutes. If you guys wonder why I can hear my garbage man, so because my office is like right outside, backyard, so and that's where my recording studio is at. All right, let's continue this. Hopefully, it's not too loud. Okay, so let's go to another Asian session. Here we go, another Asian session, another day, 29. 1500 hour, 3 o'clock my time. What do you see? Yeah, I see first candle green open, then red candle, first couple hours. We see this a little range, a little chop, but it is going down, right? So if you play the EMA strategy, you can say, okay, I can see a trend going down. Let's wait for it to come back up near one of the EMA, and they'll short it. Okay, so you short here. All right. Let's say put a short there, and you stop maybe like the day high, something a little bit high, not too close. Like I said, you always get stopped out. So pick your stop and be comfortable with it, right? Let's say you short there, and you aim for at least a 1 to 2 or something like that, right? Okay, so when you short, right there, right? You kind of got your move, but then now it came back up. You nearly took TP, right? So, just like anything, you have to manage your risk. You would have definitely profit if you took profit around down there and you saw the can move up. You're like, okay, I'm out. But if you held it longer, you probably would have stopped out, right? No big deal, stop out. But guess what? It came back to tested 51 EMA. And guess what happened? It shorts again. And this generally sometimes that happens with Asian market. You get a lot of those wicks, right? You get a lot of those wicks, and then they say you short again, at least 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, or a 1 to 3, you're still winning this trade. This is a winning trade. And if you want to gamble a little longer, more, 1 to 3 or something, you still would have hit, right? You wouldn't stop out yet because it wicked you out, but never it didn't wick you out. It barely tried to get you out, but you wouldn't stop out. Okay, that was a big move down. Most of the time, I said Asian Open, it's a sell-off. We got this action here, kind of choppy sometimes, but you have to manage your stops and you manage your risks also. But you will get that move down. You time it right. This one you probably stop out, but you got back in short, still looking okay, done. And then bam, done, right? This another example is, let's see, do I have another one? I thought I got more. Oh yeah, I do have one more. Some reason I got, oh yeah, when I did the thing came out. Hold on, I'll find it. Here's an example where it didn't go away. Let's see. Boom, right there, 15. Okay, so on today, the 28th, I think what happened was we got NVIDIA earnings. What happened in NVIDIA earnings? Yep, NVIDIA beat and market rally after hours, right? We had a nice rally after hours, and that thing carried on to Asian market, flooded through Asian market. Okay, and that's where you can't short. You just look at it. Look at this. You can't short when this happened. That's why the first hour is so important. If first hour you see this happening, you don't short. The market is running high. What it doesn't mean you got to take the longs. No, you don't take longs. You know, just because you see this come happen doesn't mean it can't short again, which it eventually did. I think that this time around it was possibly the euro. The euro open starting to short it, sell off. But we did have a pre-market rally due to NVIDIA earnings. Those are kind of exceptions that can cause Asian market to rally. Okay, the carryover. But most of the time, you're gonna see Asian market sell off. Let me see if I can find after that. What happened after that? Not after, before that. Boom, $1,500. See, and there's days where this will happen. You got a bunch of chop, nothing really happening. There's a clear, defined upside. Top for that day. Okay, and then finally it's shorted. It is shorted down, but it bled all the way to Europe open to short, and then pretty much picked back up pre-market for a little bit in the euro close. Okay, but generally you kind of see where I'm going, right? Asian market is tending to be a short. Just don't ask me why. It just is. Maybe Asian market just don't like U.S. stocks. Who knows? I'm gonna try to find another one for you if I can find it. Here we go. $1,500. Boom. New Year close. Came back up. What happened? This one bigger move down. Look at that sell off, and then we got the rally back from euro. It's how it works. Don't ask me how. It's just how it works. Because market doesn't move linear, right? It's just look at it like a wave pattern, right? Like a wave pattern. There's ups, there's down, ups, down, there's ups, down. There's certain times where it just always tends to go down, and then there's certain time where it will just rebound back up. When it comes to New York session, anything can happen. That's when all hands on deck. You can't really predict it because there's a lot of volume, volatility in the New York Open. A lot of news, a lot of headlines that move this market. An Asia session is usually calm and quiet and kind of have its own little trend. Market kind of just sell off a little bit there. Then Europe Open and news start kicking in, more volatility, more volume, and then that's why we kind of get the uptrend from there, right? Because we all know news moves price. News on market, news on company, stuff like that will move price action. But that's really the strategy for Asian market. Like, I'll keep it really simple with you. Most of the time I think the Asian market just sells off. So when the market opens up, first hour, I do nothing. I observe. After I observe, I'll watch the 5 o'clock from 4:30 it gets to 5 or 6 to see what kind of trend we have. If I'm already starting to see the EMA strategy in the 15-minute chart, we're seeing trend lower, and then I see a pullback to one of the EMA 21, at least the 21 EMA. I'm going to take that short. I'm take the entry short, and I'll have my stop pretty high above and get at least a 1 or 2 risk to reward ratio, right? And then just hold it from there. And you have to hold it. You have to hold on. It takes several hours for you move to play out. It's just slow. It's a slow market for a reason. It's a dead snail slow. The only time it'll probably move fast and jump on you is a sudden news somewhere, like some tweet, like random tweet somewhere, or random posts, social media, or war headlines, in the Middle East or something like that. War broke out. Yeah, market's gonna sell off, or market's gonna rally off Trump's positive news of tariff or something like that, right? That's the only time you're gonna see crazy move that happens in the Asian hour. Like, it's unpredicted. It's unpredictable. But most of the times, it will sell off. And those are the times you gotta look for. Mark it down. 3 to 4, no trade. 4:30, 5, 6, let's start looking for a trend. Right? Start looking for a trend, observe, and trade within those hours. Hold your position, have a higher stops, 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Okay? And from around 9 to 10-ish, is where you start taking profits, or just completely hold on to your trade a little bit longer to 10. Sometimes you can squeeze a little bit more off to 10, because 10 o'clock is really when people try to take profit, and then you get this weird volume, weird choppiness that happens around 10:30, 10 to 11, right? You get that action. So be mindful of those times that I'm giving you. Those are the times you need to be aware of when you trade the Asian hour. And the reason I'm telling you guys this Asian strategy is because I know a lot of people have work and they can't trade the New York session, right? They got work to do. They can't be on the computer sitting there trading, or you get fired. I know, because I used to have a job like that where I can't really trade because I was a mechanic, right? But I still did. I'm not gonna lie, I still did. I had a whole setup on my toolbox, but it wasn't like it was hard to do, because you gotta be, paying attention to your work, and also try to pay attention to your day trading, right? It's a hard thing to do. But now I don't do that anymore. So I have a lot of time to trade all the session, right? But for people who don't and want to just learn how to trade but can only trade the Asian session, that is what you have to look for. Just be aware that it is a slow market, and you will fall asleep watching it. I mean, you will. Your eyes are gonna burn out. It's like watching paint dry on the wall. Okay, so just have your levels prepare. I always say this: mark your level in Asian Open, mark your high of New York, mark your low, mark your 15-minute interesting area, mark them all, and then go from there. Go, okay, if I show here, where is my level? Where's my next stop is? Where's the level of interest I think it'll come to and take profit, right? Have those level ready. Once in the trade, just set your stop loss and take profit. And then be done. Just come back to it an hour out, take a look, see where it's at. Just check on it here and here. Don't just sit there and stare at it forever. You don't have to do that with the Asian market, right? You don't. I honestly, like I said, if you get unlucky, news come out and it goes the opposite direction, or maybe you get lucky and it goes to the direction. That's the only exception, and it rarely happens. Random news bomb in the Asian market, it rarely does, but it do happen time to time. And as far as the Euro session, like I said, Euro session usually that's where the reversal happen. That's where the inverse the Asian session. The Euro will buy it up, the Asian session will sell it off. I know it's crazy, but Euro session, if you can stay up for it, cool, because there's more volume. You can trade that Euro session. It's a little bit more volatility. It's move a little bit faster, and it tends to rally the Asian market. So you kind of know the direction it's going, right? So you kind of leaning bullish all the time, but you always still have to look at your strategy, EMA chart, and your line, see if you get that confluence that, hey, yeah, it is looking bullish here. I'm gonna go swing high. Okay, and that's it for this lesson on Asian session strategy. I hope that helps. Most of it is, and I'm repeating myself, but I just want to drill in risk management and all that stuff because that's very important. I'm not here. I can't be here to hold your hand and tell you, hey, this is where you got to stop at. This is where to take profit. Right? That's all up to your interpretation of your risk and what is too much for you and what is too little for you. How much you can stomach losing, how much you can stomach holding. How long you can stay awake for that trade, right? You're your own person. I can only tell you where I enter, where I exit, because that's how I monitor my trade. I'm not you. I don't have your schedule. Okay? And with that, I hope you guys like this video. Enjoy it. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe for more. Peace.